We're back. It's been a few months. Took a break. I didn't even really get started, to be honest. So we're back now. Testing one, two, three. Hopefully everything's working as it should be. Um, make sure everything's running good. It looks like are we live on Rumble? Yes, it looks like we are live. It says recording in progress. Hopefully the audio sounds fine. I don't know if hopefully the audio sounds good. You guys can hear me. Everything's good. All right, let's see here. Are we still live? Are we still live? We should be. Okay, that's a crazy. All right, hold on. Yeah, we should be good. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Thursday, March 5th, 2025. 2026, my bad. And so basically, I think I'm gonna turn these streams into YouTube videos and shorts because money. Maybe probably monetize it better that way. I don't know. It's dumb. It'd be nice to like branch out into like YouTube and anyway, that's just thoughts in my head right now that I'm going through. Why am I doing this? Because I see a lot of bullshit on the internet, and I have a camera, and I have a laptop, and I have pretty decent internet, and so I was like, you know what? I think it's time that, more opinion, as if there's not already enough opinions out there, right? But anyway, the only reason I'm here tonight is because, look, I have a job that I work, that pays the bills. And I'm sure anyone watching here, you know, has a job or is employed somewhere, somehow, to the point where, you can't focus your entire life on, how do you say, mm, you have too much going on in your life, right? You got bills, especially if you have kids. You have a job, you have a career, you have shit going on in your life, like, and that's how it should be. You should be not spending your whole time on the internet because that's gonna just melt your brain. And one of my things for this year that I wanted to change was to stop consuming so much content on the internet and maybe make some money off of this shit. Cause like, why not? If it's possible. But overall, I also what am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say is basically we all have lives. We can't spend our whole days just on X, on Twitter, on watching news. Some people can, and that's great. But anyway, I've been seeing a lot about, in the news talking about, I'm sure, like, the war or the conflict in Iran, the war in Iran, where there's a lot of opinions about it. Um, but my biggest, I don't know. I've had this to say for maybe I've been thinking about this a lot because I think about it a lot. My job does allow me for that, I guess, to think a lot. I'm pretty much on my own all days. Um, but anyway, where did this hate from? For no, by the way, just FYI, I guess I am I have a bias, obviously. And I'll let you know. Like I don't like to be on the fence. on, especially when it comes to um like tough issues, I guess. I think sitting on the fence is like this. You're not a man. You got to pick a side. You know, can't just go your whole life. Okay, let me just check, make sure all the streams are good. Everyone's doing all right. Yeah, we're doing good. Okay. Basically, no, I was just gonna say I don't like fence sitting. I don't like that position of just of because I don't think that's real. I don't think that's true. You can't have that to begin with because you're gonna have to pick a side eventually. I obviously lean to the right, I guess. Definitely more conservative, but that just stems from this is another idea I had too. Is like why is everything? Because like it was basically like can you be a Democrat and also be a follower of Jesus Christ or like be a believer of God or like mainly that was like my main question. That's maybe something I'll explore in another video, but tonight we're not talking about that. But because of that is my bias, I guess. And that's where I stem a lot of my thoughts from is the Bible and things that I was taught in it, the way I was brought up in it. My parents are very, I would say, Christian. Yeah, they were brought up Christian. As far as denominations go, that's something that I really want to learn because it's really hard and it's like I don't even. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that right now. The main thing I wanted is like okay, so that's my bias, right? Um, I have no reason to hate Israel the way that I see a lot of these people, but I also, how do you say, um, it's not like I support. Like, look at me, I'm brown. like, I benefit. I'm not paid by Mossad. I'm not paid by the Jewish state. I have no connections at all with anyone. I don't think I've ever in my life, right? In my life, which is this is another thing. It's like these people like Nick Fuentes, like this dude, goofy ass fucking dude. What's his name? Tucker Carlson. These fucking just these. And the thing is, I try to give I listen because I listen to a lot of the stuff they say. It's like you listen, right? You listen. You give them. I've given Nick the benefit of the doubt at least. Nick Fuentes. I've heard a lot of his stuff. It began where I was like, I don't know about this guy. This guy seems weird. That was my gut feeling. That's what it was with him. Like, I was like, this guy, something off about this dude. But I did start hearing like interviews with him and other people that I listened to, and it was like, all right, so he's not too bad, not too bad. I guess I don't know, but um, and the same for Tucker. That dude also gives me the creeps, by the way. From like the like I don't know, like he just doesn't seem genuine, if that makes sense. And I know I'm attacking their like, I guess their character. I mean, I don't know them. I've never spoken to them. Maybe if I talked to them, they'd probably charm me into believing that they were good people. I don't know. But from what I can say is, from what I've seen, it's like I'm trying to understand where all this hatred towards like the Jewish people comes from. Now I do, and that's what I kind of want to get into tonight. I want to do some AI searches, especially with like AI, and the main goal of this after all of that I said for what 7 minutes now, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. How long have we been going? I wish this thing told me. Okay, so about 10 minutes into this fucking thing, and I'm getting to my point. The whole point of this is to go through and see if the Jewish hate is merited, and I want to do that in under an hour at least. I don't want to go longer than that, but if we have to go longer than that, then we will. But that's the whole point of this stream, is to see if we should gas the Jews like Hitler. And see, that's the crazy thing. It's like, so we'll start there. We'll start with the holiest book of them all, the literal word of God. So we'll let me hop on over to. And I should know this, by the way, and forgive me, Gemini. And I don't know why I trust. And this is probably a red flag already that I use Google Gemini, but I mean, it's been. Let me see if I can make this thing smaller. Hold on. Let's put this in the back. Yeah, it's fun. All right. Anyway, maybe it's a red flag that I that I use Google Gemini. I don't know. I do have other AIs that I use, but um, let's see. And like I said, I'm coming at this with more of an open perspective than most. I don't know why a lot of people like, especially maybe like my age now that are like in their well, not my. I'm a little bit older, but like people especially like in Gen Z. Um, it's like, oh, it's cool to. And I've also been noticing this trend of like white dudes just start saying the N word again, like, uh, and I think that's been spurred on by people like Nick Fuentes. Now I don't know if his video, because I've seen some clips of him there. Look, and that's the whole thing with race. Look, I won't touch on the whole N word or the N word pass or any of that right now because that's a whole video onto itself. I do have a lot of thoughts on that too, especially regarding because it was in a sport recently that I really do like. There was a big blowback there for some player, and it's just so dumb. But anyway, I won't discuss that right now. Anyway, um, yeah, no, I don't understand where this hate for Jewish people comes from, like the Jews, like, because I know, like I said, my bias, I do have a negative opinion of like Muslims for that matter. I would say, and like, not for that matter. That's not the word I wanted. I want to say like the way that people, I guess, have that kind of hate for Jews. I'm starting to develop that for Muslims, and I know that sounds like a that's a wild thing to say, but it's true. And I think we all have this, and it's important to go in, and that's kind of what I want to do here, is to go in underneath and see what's driving this hate. Now, for me, it's not a hate like mm, it's not hate, but it definitely is like disdain, like a kind of like what do you know? And maybe that's just like I said, that's just my bias. I'm sure there are plenty of Muslims that would chomp at the bit at decapitating me or I don't know, like there were and like, but you see like those. Maybe we can do like a compare contrast for that matter. I don't know. But the thing, we're not talking about Muslims, we're talking about Jews. Like, I don't have that. Maybe it's a blind spot I have. Maybe after the end of this video, I'm just going to put on a swastika hat, start Hail Hitler, all this. Because, like, after we go, I don't know. So, all right, it's getting dangerous, man. Because, whoa. Is that Mossad? Yo, my camera's tripping out. No way. Dude, guys, you see that? Yo, my camera is chimping out, bro. What is going on? Yo, hold on. See, you start talking about the Jews, and now all of a sudden they hack your camera, bro. Like that's crazy. I hope like the live stream catches this. By the way, am I not live? Yeah, guys, look at my camera. That's crazy. I promise you. Look, hold on. Let me timestamp this at 13 minutes. My camera fucking started acting up. Hold on. Let me it's having technical ish difficulties. What the hell? Yo, my camera's being weird. Oh, let me see this. Come on, bro. That's never happened before. Literally never happened before. Hopefully the audio still works. No, it's still chimping out, bro. What? What is this? Dude, no way am I gonna have to end the stream because of my camera. Bro, what? Hold on. Hold on. I think I broke... Oh, please. Hold on, guys. We're just having some technical difficulties here. Alright, we good? Still chimping out? Hold on. Let's see, let me reset this thing. Dude, my camera just got fried, bro. Still chimping? Come on. Bro. Oh, I see what I did. Man. Is that the end of the stream? No way, bro. Dude, I was just about to start cooking. Oh. It's on. Should be on now. Hold on, fellas. Hold on, guys. Let me Dude, we were doing so good. We were doing so good. Okay, so my camera's on. Boom. What are we saying, guys? This is so annoying. Are we back? I'm back. Alright. Just note that. Make a notation. How long did that take? 3 minutes. I'm sorry about that, guys. Dude, it's never done that before. And lo and behold, as soon as I mention the Jews, I start getting fucking... My equipment starts breaking on me. That's crazy. Anyway, alright, so we're back now. Yeah, we're back. Let's go ahead and where do we want to start? I wanted to start with the Bible, right? So there is a verse in the Bible. And I hate that I'm using Gemini. I need to read more of the Bible, to be honest. Maybe if I did that, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in. But anyway, let's go ahead. And look, this is like the average. I'm your average guy, like, average male. I don't know a lot about a lot of things, but I have an idea, right? But I'm just curious. Okay, anyway, let's go. All right. Verse in the Bible where it mentions the hate for Jews. So let's start there. Okay, so maybe I asked the wrong question because obviously there isn't a verse in the Bible that. Okay, the Bible doesn't contain a single verse of hate. That's not true. It's not hate. No, it's said in the end times that the world will turn on Jews? Question mark? Because I swear this is. Yes, in the book of Revelations, that's the end times, right? The gathering of all nations. So there it is. So this is in Zechariah. I'm assuming for I will gather all the nations against Jerusalem to battle. Then the Lord will go out and fight against those nations, as when he fights on a day of battle. The time of Jacob's trouble. No, I think this is it because I read it in Revelations. Cause the book of Revelation is one I read a lot, being that. Okay, and a symbolic version described a woman. Attributed as Israel who gives birth to the Messiah being pursued by a dragon, Satan. So the war of Gog and Magog, no. There's trouble or Israel is saved out of it. And so I think this is the main thing. While there are the verses describe a world that turns against them, the consistent ending in these prophecies is the restoration and protection of the Jewish people rather than their destruction. Which I want to emphasize this. Because this is a thought I've had about the Jewish people in general. I'm like, because you see it, right? And you get the and you get you I get the um pattern recognition, like you see it over and over again. Um Especially like in Hollywood, I get the because it is kind of fishy, not fishy, but like it is kind of concerning, I guess, how many Jewish people engage in some very demonic things like um how do you say this? I feel like okay, and forgive me if for my ignorance, but is okay. The one that's coming in my head right now, pause. Big pause. The one man that comes to mind right now is Harvey Weinstein, and all of his things that he's done isn't, like I don't know. I feel like there's a propaganda machine or something that like, and I know like Kanye West talked about this. I think Nick Fuentes references a lot of this stuff, and it's like Jewish people in higher up positions tend to want uh, alienate themselves from God, and it's because a lot of these people also, I guess, well, that's the thing. A lot of them are not. I wouldn't say are people of God in general, and that leads me to believe that because they're not of God, they end up doing some demonic shit. And um, my question is, I guess, but see, like obviously Gemini isn't going to answer this. This is something that a theologian, I'm sure. This is see guys. This is the prime example of why we should all be reading and studying the Bible, because I'm pretty sure the answer to this is in there. Because my main question is, so is every Jewish person just saved? Like out of, well, I guess I know the answer to that, or do I? Because I mean, we're told that there is only one way to the Father, and that's through Jesus Christ, and I believe that. So meaning that if you don't, but I feel like the Jew, because Jesus Christ was a Jewish person. And so, and because in Revelations, the book itself, there's mention of how a lot of them are already like, they've already been split off, meaning like they've already been ordained this like salvation, kind of. And, you know, and so like, does that, because that would be a contradiction. And I'm getting into like really fucking, because I don't, and because I don't know, like, and I'll just say that I'm very ignorant, right? So what I'm saying is probably completely like backwards, and I probably know that. But this is the stuff I think about, like when it comes to like the Jewish people in general. Um, but like I said, I don't have a hate towards them. I just don't know enough about, because you see it a lot in like, how do you say this? Because whereas like I would say like Christians, right? I would say like I compare it to myself. Um, my salvation is in Christ, meaning like I know where my salvation lies. So therefore I know where my love comes from. I know all of it. I believe that. But for a Jewish person, they have a completely different worldview from that, because they don't believe that the Messiah has come yet, right? And so it's like they're still waiting, and but also a lot of them, like Drake is a Jew, right? I don't know what I'm saying, but okay, let's okay. Well, the prophet describes it, because this while this verse describes a world that turns against them, the constant ending in these prophecies is the restoration and protection of the Jewish people rather than destruction. Zechariah, all nations attack Israel. God fights for Israel, establishes His kingdom. Expand on Revel. Because I swear there is a specific verse that says that in the end times, is the specific verse in Revel? Okay, let me ask that. Revelations. Because this is like important shit, you know? It's like, oh, that's pretty cool. It gives you two choices here. And I heard the number, so I know I've read this one. From all the tribes of Israel, or the most features the woman and the dragon. I know, so I've heard of the woman. Temple, the verses, times narrative. Kingdom where you will wipe away every tear. Because I swear I've read it, but it's been so long. And what am I trying to get at with this? I guess is I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't hate Jews as much. I don't know. Like, why are we going around just Jew hating? For who? For what? For what end? For what reason? If you should be hating on anyone, in my opinion, right? It should be, and it's not even hate, but it's more of like a, because you know, at the end of the day, we should ask Jewish people, I guess, of more of like a, I guess from a theological perspective of, like what else do you need to proclaim that Jesus Christ is the Son of God? Like it was written down, it was shown to them, like, and for you to say, hey, and all you need to do is, I guess, is proclaim that Jesus Christ is God and that He is the Son of God and He came and died for your sins, and that's it. And then I would at that point you stop? Would you stop being a Jew at that point? Because like, what's keeping a Jewish person from doing that? Like, is it just the earthly traditions at that point of like, oh, I have to have this. Let's okay. So what makes a Jew? A Jew? Just a basic ass question. And maybe Google Gemini isn't the best. And yeah, like Jew isn't just a religion, an ethnicity, or a nationality. It's a combination of all three. The halakha. You are Jewish if your mother is Jewish traditionally. You converted. The ethical ancestral definition, DNA and lineage, the national legal definition. Jews to move to Israel gain citizenship. As obviously that's the Jewish state. Jewish mother, Orthodox, conservative, reform. Part of the Mispacha, family for life. Right? So, because that's like the biggest tension, I think, between, I guess, Jews and Christians, and maybe where like we all stand. But like, this is the United States of America, you know. Religious freedom, and that's another thing, like about religious freedoms and stuff like that. Like, and this just, in my mind, it just all goes back to reference, like, between a Muslim and a Jew, right? A Muslim, a Christian, and a Jew walk into a bar. Who are you going to buy a beer for first? Or, I don't know, who do you, like, it's like, I don't know, man. Because I can kind of see, so in my mind, right, the way I break this down is that according to Nick Fuentes and all of them, the Jews are secretly in the back underground. Like they're so smart that they're like plotting to take down the United States of America and or like subvert maybe Christianity. Is that what it is? Like they're trying to maybe not like consciously, but like subconsciously, like you know all these things that we see on like popular media, like and you've seen it like a lot of Jewish executives like really propagated a lot of the rap industry and like and made that popular, right? For what reason? Why? Like what were they trying to gain? Like maybe just money? They were trying to get rich? Like it could be just as simple as because there's so many factors that go into things like that. Like you can't just and then people end up saying, "Oh no, they did that because they're evil and that they worship Satan." I mean, well, they don't worship Satan, but like because a lot of them are secular Jews, right? And especially in like those industries, I don't know if they're like, you know, and there's always these stereotypes. Like, but once you start going into like, oh well, no, I actually hate Jews because of like that's when it starts like, all right, bro, like relax, like we're not like hate or dislike them for what, or like when it gets to the point where Carlson was saying like he'd rather now these weren't his exact words, but he was more of like, oh, I'm more comfortable around Muslims than I would be around a Jew, which is an insane thought to even have, really. Like, like I said, I don't hate Muslims, but I'm starting to get to the point where it's like I'm starting to really question how that religion has. Because my friend who's an atheist, hopefully he watches this. I don't know. It gets to him, but because I try to like, I don't know, talk about these because he's always like, oh, there's so many religions. How could you know that the one that you choose is the right one? Like, how do you know that your religion is the right one? And for that reason, he said, "Oh well, I'm just not gonna choose to believe in God or choose a religion." It's like to me that's I don't know. That's a weak argument because you can see that like the Muslim religion is just the most clown. I'm sorry. Like I just have to. It's the most clownish religion I've ever seen in my life, and I don't know how people can really, with a straight face, sit there and tell you that that you're gonna die and that you're gonna have a bunch of virgins waiting for you in paradise. With a straight face, mind you, just look you in the eye and tell you, yeah, that's yeah. Salam alaikum. Like we're gonna like I hate like when they're like the Muhammad peace be upon him. Like, bro. And look, and see now I'm starting to get into like the hate side of things. Where it's like it starts to develop into like a hate. It's not a hate. It's more of like it just doesn't make sense to me, right? Now, I mean, you could level the same because you could level, and I'm not blind, right? I know my religion isn't like how do you say? There is no perfect religion on this earth. Religion was a man-made thing. Nowhere in the Bible does it talk about religion. What it does say is that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and that he died on a cross for everyone's salvation to have eternal life through him and then to be able to live in paradise. And you see like that's the thought. That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps a lot of people that proclaim my faith, which is, that's why. And then when you sit there and tell me that no, my faith is based on Muhammad, a man that married a child and had sex with a child, and that we're gonna have virgins waiting in heaven. I'm sorry, like I can't. How do you expect me to look past that? Like that's like a big, like what the fuck is going on here? That's like a big, like, no, like same thing with like the LDS church. Is it? And see, now I'm gonna get in big, like we're talking. It's like we're talking. I started with the Jews, but now I'm going on this others, cause like yeah, bro, like to me. I mean, look, if anything, we should call out like secular Jews or like people that like, cause what's his name? And maybe this is where it all started. This let's put his name up here. I'll probably if a just so we're clear, I'm looking dead. I'm not suicidal. I would never kill myself or harm myself. I'm just saying. I believe in Jesus Christ. I do not want to kill myself. I value my life. I just thought I'd put that out there. But no, let's look up this dude. What's his name? The Satan after Jeffrey Epstein. I think this guy's probably. Well, let's ask this: was Jeffrey Epstein? I don't know how to spell his name. A Jew. Look at how I spelled Epstein, by the way. Oh my god, Whoa! 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 That's crazy. Is that real? That's in Wikipedia. I'm gonna have to cross-reference this. Hold on. We're gonna have to go to. I think DuckDuckGo was Epstein. I mean, Epstein sounds Jewish. A Jew. Look at how I'm spelling Jew, by the way. You guys proud of that? Yes, was a Jewish, born to Jewish parents, had a Jewish upbringing. That is insane, right? So, top 3 Jews of all time, guys. What's this dude's name? What's this clown's name? Because, okay, let's put Islam to the side. Because, I mean, I guess there is, I understand where this Jewish, how do you say this? A lot of Jews tend to be very progressive and left-leaning. They give a lot of money to the left, to the Democrats. The Democratic Party is full, and if it wasn't until like Trump recently that they started like flipping, because let me see, George Soros. I just is a Hungarian Jew descent because one of the wealthiest, most politically active people in the world, his name often comes. Globalism and increasing the context of end time series you were asking about earlier. His breakdowns for Ravel, born Georgi Schwartz in Budapest in 1930. His family survived the Nazi occupation of Hungary. Okay, to anti-Semitism. Source is Jewish. One many people the paradox. Even though he's often attacked by white nationalists, he is also accused by Jewish groups for his lack of support for traditional Jewish causes. And see, well, often critics supported many. Okay. See, and because when it comes down to it, right, like you see people like George Soros that are rich and that they give to a lot of left leaning causes. They're very like. I think George Soros just hates the United States of America and what it stands for, and he's probably just trying to destroy it for being the greatest country on planet Earth. That would be my like. And obviously no one can ever know that unless you met the man and asked him directly. And even then he probably wouldn't tell you exactly why he does what he does. But to just blame it all on Judaism is kind of... do you say? There's so many factors that go into it, right? Like because as you see there, like he doesn't give to a lot of Jewish causes, but he does give to a lot of like progressive causes, which I hate. By the way, I hate like leftists and all these fucking weirdos. Um, Let me see. Where can we go? Cause and basically that's my and now with the whole war. Oh my god, this whole war thing that's happening, right? Where I wanted to touch on this guy. This fucking weird dude, man. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you to all the troops that are in the military that are fighting for our freedoms. That means everyone here in the United States. That means all of these people that are like shitting constantly on the United States. They're dying over there. Now, it's okay. I would just say thank you for your service. Get home safe. May God bless you and protect you all. Right? To the all of them. But as far as like it's like we're trying to do like a blame game here of like because at the end of the day when I see tweets like this, right? Let's go to this goofy ass dude, man. Oh, whoa. Gotta let's go to what's his name? What is this guy's name? Yo, what? Why did I just blank on this weird guy's name? Let's take a look at his. Let's look at this clown. Our country is under a hostile occupation that sends its own brave citizens to kill and die on behalf of a foreign country. It is time to put aside all of our differences with all the people and unite as Americans against the occupation regime. America first. Let's see here. November 12th. Dude, this guy, by the way, like now I'm not saying that we have to be like gung ho in support of the war because I mean, no, like but it's been like a few days. I would say like if after like a month or two this is still happening, and maybe this is probably not a popular position to have. I feel like we're just all jumping the gun way too quickly here. Like, this dude is not. Look at these two clowns. Look at this. Look at these fucking goofballs. These two guys right here suck. And there's a reason that Charlie Kirk, right, would not associate with this guy. And now, like, I'm attacking them. I'm not attacking. I'm just, dude, when you see, like, a pattern of this going after, like, put your Jew hate to the side for a minute, right? And, like, think, like, critically, right? Actually think critically. Because now it's like, oh, well, Trump's, and I see it online. This is mainly why I wanted to make this tonight. Online, I see it everywhere now. It's like, let me see this. I want to log into my X account here so we can take a look. Hold on. Are we still live? We still good here? We still doing alright? Let me see. Because I wanted to log into my my X account. But let me see. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. Damn. Yo, what's going on? I'm sorry. I'm on my phone. I probably shouldn't be on stream. Hold on. Let me see if I can just get to this. Oh, my camera died again. Fuck. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. I'm just trying to. Fifth day of con. It's still, and I guess it's not a. Let's see here. Says Shields of America. Blah 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 blah. There was the dude, right? I know it was he was he made a scene because he went. Like when I see stuff like that, right? Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, let me pull this fucking clown up. And I hate to call him a clown because, I mean, he technically, I guess, served in the war. I mean, the war, served in the military. So there's this dude here. This guy. Focus. This dude. So he's seen Warren, like, because it is like, obviously, you know, you don't want people to die, right? Because now it looks like I'm defending, like I'm trying to find a way to like defend Trump. Trump doesn't need my defending, or anyone's defending for that matter. He's the president of the United States of America. Like, you were not sitting in those briefing rooms. We're not sitting in, you know, their war rooms where they're strategizing and deciding all this. But to say, like, just with your chest, just to like sit there and say that this conflict, because it's not a war right now. I mean, because I heard like there was a debate about, is it a war, is it a conflict? I mean, for the average person, I guess it's a war. So this war right now, right? Is it being fought for? And this, I guess, is the big question: is this being fought for the Jewish state, meaning Israel, or is it being fought for the benefit of the United States of America? And a lot of people have decided that it's popular and cool to get on the whole bandwagon side of, no, this is just for the Jews. It's all for the Jews. They are all of our, like, they're the cause of all the wars. They're the cause of this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. They are the reason that, and the main thing is that we went to war because they wanted to go to war, is the main thing. Now, with that being said, is that the truth? Or is that what these people want you to believe, want you and me to believe? That's the whole reason I made this, because I wanted to sift through like the thoughts, see everything kind of like encapsulated in, and it's only been a couple minutes, but you know, a minutes. I mean, it's only been like, it's about to be an hour and I have to log off of this, but just sit there and think really, like, why on God's green earth would the United States of America, right, Donald Trump agree to a war? Because he could very easily just say, no, you Israel will defend yourself, and if you want to attack them, you'll attack them, and boom, that's it. And then you'll just be at war with, it'll be between Israel and Iran. It won't involve the United States of America, right? Like, if you get bombed, you get bombed, but you have your own way of defending yourself, blah blah blah, whatever, right? Like, I feel like that's what a lot of people want the United States stance to be. But if we've seen anything, right, this year alone, these past couple of months, it feels like so much has happened. Nicolas Maduro is taken out of office by our president and the military. It feels like he's trying to, like, if you just step back, he's trying to like cripple everyone across the world, like China and Russia especially. That's what it looks like to me. And Iran, because there's so many look, Iran and China, the whole oil thing going on there, right? But let's not involve China and Russia or any of them in this, right? Let's just go to the Middle East itself. Because we know that, you guys know that the Abraham Accords are a thing, right? And that the only reason that things aren't settled or peaceful in the Middle East right now is because of Iran and all of their proxies and all the, you know, the terrorists, that, because Iran is a funder of terrorism all across the Middle East. And that's the truth. Like, that's an actual thing that happens. And then you want to sit there and just on that point alone, right? You just want to sit there and say, oh, well, that doesn't affect the United States of America. 9/11 was a thing, right? That thing that happened in Texas was a thing. You don't think that, you think that, like, terrorism isn't, like, let's say, you know, we take that approach of America first, meaning like America only, and then we just leave every other country to deal with their own shit, right? And that we just focus on the United States of America, right? Well, okay, so this is another point, but I'll finish this point first. Is, you don't think, like, if you leave Israel to fend for itself, it'll, and I don't know, that's just like, because I don't know. Like, to be honest, like, and neither does Nick Fuentes. Like, out of all these people, like, they want to, like, rile up this hate. They have no idea. Hey, we're going to bring up, because we literally do not know, as far as, like the intel, on the intel side of things, of, like, what, the Ayatollah, what, like, Iran was planning, what they weren't planning. Like, you have no idea. I have no idea. You know who does know? The CIA, probably. The FBI, like, maybe not the FBI, but the CIA, like the Mossad, like, intelligence. Like, they know what's going down in those countries. They had a good reason to strike. And I know and then people want to say, like, oh, well, you shouldn't bring up Iran, the Iranian people as, like, a sign to, like, oh, that, don't use that as a justification for the war, pretty much, of, like, the Iranian people. But mind you, they were saying that up to 40,000 protesters in Iran were killed by the Iranian, and that was an actual genocide. And people want to talk about the genocide in Palestine. That, I mean, maybe, like, was there really a genocide in Palestine? Like, as far as I know, no, because like what are you talking about? There was an actual genocide going on in Iran where the government was killing their own people, like upwards of 20,000 people just dead because of an Iranian regime. And maybe you can, I mean, you can argue that, like, oh well, the U.S. doesn't need to be involved in that. Well, but that's where it also goes to, like, well, Trump did say, and this is another factor that could be influencing the war, because Trump did say, like, if they keep fighting, I will support them, meaning and I think he backed himself into a corner there where he couldn't, like, not do something after he said, if you keep killing your people, if you don't stop, if you don't negotiate, and there's so many factors to this where it gets to the point where, and then you boil it down to, oh no, well, we're just fighting this for Israel. That's not true. Like, as much as you guys want to sit there and believe, do your own research. That is not true. We are not just fighting this for the state of Israel or for the Jewish people. This does involve America, and this is because could you imagine, like, and we're talking about all the bad things that could happen, all the negative. Could you imagine if the U.S. is successful in toppling an Iranian regime that has funded a lot of terror in the Middle East? Could you imagine what the world would look like without them in the picture? And then let's say, like, Israel somehow magically, like, I don't know, they become like, could you imagine Iran as an ally to Israel, and then all around, like, I mean, the terrorism would pretty much stop. Uh, Maybe that's like a wishful thinking, because with as long as the religion of Islam exists, that terrorism is not going to go away. And I know, and I said what I said. I stand by that, because in the Bible, in the Quran itself, they are called to kill Christians and Jews, people that don't believe that Muhammad is the the prophet of God or anything. You know, they're called to that. And so, yeah, I don't buy the whole, and I don't think you should either. And starting this hate for, like, because you can't criticize Trump for it. You can say, hey, you know, he has been consistent on this point though about bombing Iran. Like, he's been consistent on that point, but he said no new wars. We'll see how long this goes. If after a year, and I hope, and this is on the internet, if after a year, if this time next year in 2027, in March of 2027, I'm making a video. I'll actually, if let's give it a whole year, because a lot of people are worried that this is going to turn into in Afghanistan and Iraq, right? Meaning, like, it's going to be a prolonged war where a lot of troops are going to be over there, kind of occupying the whole land, blah blah blah, and it ended up all going to shit anyway, because everything got, we ended up backing out of there. You saw what Joe Biden did with that. That was horrible, by the way. Like, that withdrawal from Iraq and over there, when the war that George Bush started, pretty much. If a year from now this isn't resolved and we're still in Iran, then at that point I think we can say, okay, Trump completely failed on this, and he failed on his promise of no new wars. Because, to be honest, this isn't a new war. This is just a continuation of and I know you've probably heard this already being said. This isn't even part of the 12. This is an ongoing conflict that has been going on for years. And I don't understand how people like Nick Fuentes can just sit there and just look past all of that. or like people like Tucker Carlson sit there and with a straight face just fucking come out of their ass saying, "Oh, it's all the Jews' fault. This is the Jewish war. We didn't want to, when we've seen over and over that the United States has been trying to negotiate with Iran, trying to bring them to the table. This Iranian regime has been going over and over saying death to America since, like, you have videos going back to 2019, to the year 2000, to 1996. This has been going on forever, mind you. They have funded so much terrorism in the Middle East, and we want to look past all of that and say no, that. I don't know, man. Like, when it's too many factors to ignore and just to say that, oh, this is just for the Jews, and that because if let's say, let me, I guess, pose a hypothetical. Hypothetically, if this ends within, let's say, I don't know, we'll give them even 6 months. If Trump manages to do this within 6 months, this operation, right, and Iran is stable and becomes a country for good, for the good of its people, and it's stable. And let's say that the Middle East after that becomes a stable region. Will all of this have been worth it? And this is a genuine question to people that are really like into this right now, that that's a genuine question that you need to contend with. Because if the answer is no because of the Jews, then you have a problem, bro. Like, but if the answer is yes, then you have to wait. We have to wait and see how this is all gonna unfold. Because and the whole thing of the nukes, and I think that's just bullshit, to be honest. That's the part where maybe you can criticize people like Trump, people like the administration, where they're like, oh, they have these nukes, and we gotta do this. Like, bro, like, just because part of me gets it, right? Like, you don't want to just, why would you go on social media and just give out all of your tactics and moves and your next like 10 moves to everyone, even though people want transparency, blah blah blah. Like, I would rather them keep everything like under wraps, meaning like they just do it and then Trump comes out and announces, hey, like he did, we're striking Iran, people are gonna die, this is dangerous, but it needs to be done. We'll check back in with you in a couple months. Boom. And then in a couple months, they're like, the Iranian regime has been toppled. They have a new government. Everything's great. Because why the hell would they come out here and say, hey, so the plan is we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to try to negotiate with them, and then blah, blah, blah. Like, they're not going to do that, obviously. But also, they shouldn't be going out here lying, talking about, oh, well, they had nukes. They were going to get the news. Because that just feeds into these whole fucking weird-ass dudes like Nick Fuentes and that want to say, like, oh, it's fine to, like, where is it? Why doesn't it go, like, to the most... Oh, I got to sign in. God, I got to... Hold on, let me sign into this. Hold the phone. Let me see. What is my... Oh, I don't know if I should... let me see here. How do I... Bro, dude, I don't know my... I don't know my sign-in shit, bro. I can't... Let me see your account. Oh, I don't know. Bro, I don't know. Oh, let me see. Sign in with. How do I log in? Okay, I'm not gonna do this right now. I'll do this because we're in the middle of this whole Jew thing right now. Um, at the end of the day, I really don't understand the hate for Jews. Like, I have a big question though. I do because I'm Mexican, by the way. Um, but that's all I say. Also, oh, that's my background. Um, Claudia Scheinbaum. I wanted to look. So where did this lady come from, right? And this is for all my hopefully I get some Mexican Americans or people that live in Mexico, right? Where did this lady come from? Cuz obviously I'm not, I don't live in Mexico. I don't know who. Let's deep dive while we're on the Jewish topic. I don't know how to spell her name. I'll just do that. So she's a science. See, this is where. So she's from Berkeley, educated, world-renowned scientist. Nobel Prize. She was part of the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. I don't like that at all. Nobel Prize. She was part of the United Nations. Data-driven, cool-headed, and clinical. And see, this is like, okay, so her religion, so she's secular, meaning she's obviously an atheist. She has Jewish roots. And the fact that she's the president of Mexico, for me, I don't know, bro. But you see what I mean? Like, it's not that because she believes in the Judaism, she's secular. She doesn't believe in God at all. And that's what a lot of these Jews have. It's not that. And maybe this is for all the bros, for all the dumb people like myself, as you can see, like, I'm very dumb. But for all like the dummies out there, this is, I think, the through line that I'm trying to get to, right? To the point where, like, um, okay, so I'm going to end it on here because this is my big thought of the night. Clip this. All right, so Jews, right? The Jews that people like Nick Fuentes hate, and, the Jews, because of their bloodline or whatever, because they're the God's chosen people, blah, blah, blah. Many factors again. They're very smart, very well educated. They tend to do well in life. It's pattern recognition. You see it with your eyes. You don't need data. You don't need this. You just see it. They're good with money, finances, blah, blah, blah. They have a gift. They're God's people at the end of the day, technically. That's what the Bible says, right? The people of God. They have these gifts. They do very well in life. They're well connected. They value family. They do all this, right? The Jews, right? This is like a generalization. Well, because of that, they end up getting into positions of power, but then they don't actually follow the Judaism, like the religion itself. They don't believe in God. Like this lady, for instance, she's a secular like she doesn't believe in God at all, right? George Soros, I'm pretty sure if you asked him, he does not practice Judaism. He is a Jew, but he doesn't practice it. Now, people like Jeffrey Epstein, That's a different question. But but right, these people are secular, meaning they are like atheists, right? They're not actual Jews. Well, but see, that's where because they don't practice. For me, they don't practice their religion. They don't practice what they were brought up and taught. Maybe they chose to, and they're embracing Satan for that because of that. They're choosing to embrace the devil himself. I mean, obviously, when you do that, right? Because you can't. Whereas, and now the Venn diagram, and we're comparing them to, like, let's say the religion of Islam, where they're committing. So let's say like the Jews commit evil, but they're not actually committing it because of their religion, because of the religion itself, because they're not taught this. Whereas someone like the extreme terrorists that the jihadi that kill themselves, um, or kill other people, that go out there and commit mass killings, that the people that did 9/11, all that stuff, right? These people, that is inherently in their book of faith that they prescribe to, that they abide by. They are told to do this. They are told to go and kill the infidel, to kill the person that doesn't believe in Allah. It's in their writings. That is part of what they are, like their religion. And that's where I have more of an issue with it, right? Whereas like a Jew, it's like, I get it, like you're not actually a practicing Jew. You don't actually believe the teachings of your of the Bible, of the Torah, of your holy scriptures. You're not actually abiding by it. You're just in let's say like a Christian for that matter. You could say, oh, he's not actually, and this is the thing, like every religion has its bad apple. Like let's say, for instance, let's just say, I don't know, what's the worst Christian, like let's play this game. We'll do this game since we're doing it with like George Soros, or like we're comparing the Ayatollah Khomeini, the guy that died. He was obviously big proponent of Islam. But you see what I mean? Like, you see how the the Khomeini, the guy that got fucking RKO'd by President Trump, the guy that got assassinated, right? He actually, believed in he was following what like his book was saying. Whereas someone like George Soros, you can't say the same thing because he actually doesn't believe in any of that. He's just going off of his own intuition, or his own mind, his own, and you see what I mean? Like, and that's why if you're a real Christian, you're not going to do that, right? Like, let's go there. Let's see who's the worst. I guess Christian, because you see, like the religion of Christianity. I see myself as the worst Christian because I'm not the best that I could be for God. And what does that look like? And you see, like, and you start to see these differences, right? And this is what I try to explain to my friend, the one that I was talking about earlier. Like, it's like, how do you know that you're in the right religion? Well, I don't think you can really know. It's more of a feeling of like, yeah, this actually makes sense. Like, this, nowhere in the Bible does it tell you to go and kill another man because he doesn't believe in Jesus Christ. It says actually turn the other cheek. And it actually says that you should, be actually kind to your foes, your enemies, and to pray for them, which is completely 180 from go and kill all the people that don't believe in me, and I'll stick to that. And as far as like the Jewish faith goes, I don't know enough about it. I would like to study more of it, but I mean I don't know if it tends to breed this kind of push towards like the secular, where it's more of like Because I remember, I don't know, because someone like, because I feel like, because I don't know how do you say it? Like as far as like the afterlife goes, um, because I feel like the Jewish person, the Jewish people themselves, and I would like to speak with a Jew and see like what they actually like believe in, like a rabbi or something. That'd be pretty dope. That way, I think that like more people that don't understand, like people like me that don't understand, like, cause like what's the worldview for you? Cause like my worldview is, again, it comes down to the Bible. It's like, go and preach the gospel, preach the name of Jesus Christ, convert. For me, that's what I'm taught to help as many people as I can, to try to reach an audience, like, and to profess His name, and to save as many souls as possible. Not for me, for Him, for Jesus. That's like my goal. That's like what I want to do in life. That's what I'm going to do in life. Whereas someone like a Jew, like, what's your goal? Like, what are you working towards? Is it just to get rich? Just to get my camera? Is oh, why do you do this? Okay, we're back. But yeah, and you see, and you ask this of all the religion, that's my goal. That's the one I can articulate it. For as far as like a Jew goes, like what are you? What's your goal? Like what are you working towards? Or is it just strictly just monetary, and earthly or worldly? Like, I feel like that's what you kind of get pushed towards as a Jew. Maybe, I don't know. I could be talking out of my, like I said, I don't know that much about the religion itself. And again, for Islam, what are you working towards? Are you and are you working towards 70 something virgins in heaven? And that's what you want to work towards? Um okay, I've said a lot, but if anything, just keep in mind that Jews are not like, and even Islam itself, it's not the enemy. There are no enemy. The only real enemy is the devil and Satan, and he's lurking, and he's, if you're not careful, he's gonna get you. He probably already has you in his. I don't know. Just watch your back at all times. That's really our only enemy, and I feel like this whole, like, trying to divide each other and everything. If we all came, all right. I'm saying, it's late. I'm tired. I gotta go to bed. I would just say I think Jews get a bad rap. Um, or maybe, I don't know. Maybe they should. It's like, bro, like, what do you? Why are so many, like, Jeffrey Epstein's a terrible person? He ended up being a Jew. It's like, why? I don't know. But again, he was not practicing. He wasn't practicing actual Judaism, because that's my question, really, and maybe we'll explore that next time. What does actual Judaism look like? What does it mean to be an actual Jew? Like, what does that look like in the world? Um, like I said, for mine, and like, what does it mean to be like a Muslim? What does that look like played out in the world? And because you see it, right? You see it, like, and what is a Christian? What does that look like in the world? Like, I have an idea of it. Maybe a lot of people have a, like, and again, I have a bias. If we were to maybe look at it from like a leftist perspective, they would say that a lot of Christians are very hateful. That um, let's see, very contradictory, maybe, like wishy washy, maybe, that, I don't know, like, you're not, mm, like, when I say hateful, I mean like they, we, because like, what, like, like racist, is that a thing that gets leveled at Christians, I guess, even though that's a stupid ass fucking dumbass. Look, it's a dumb thing to. But because the hate, I guess, would come from, like, because I know a lot of people, and this is getting into theology and stuff, but, or like into like the actual breaking down of, like, because I feel like a lot of left leaning people are people that are like, Well, I mean, I guess those people technically you could look as like people on the left that come from like very Christian upbringing, and that like that trans school shooter, for instance, the one that killed all those kids in the at the Catholic school. I don't want to say the name. I can't even really remember it, but you know, she was raised, I think, in a Christian, not maybe not even Christian, but she went to that school. You know, they try to teach her about God, and she rebelled against that and turned into a terrible human being. And I guess you can see it in that way and say, hey, like it happens in every. And this is what I don't understand. Like it happened. Like I guess that's a good example. And I guess the left people on the left are good examples of that. It's like they try to. You were raised to believe in God, but you denounce it, and actually, what you end up turning into is a lot of evil yourself. So I guess that would be the good comparison for like Jews that end up being bad, like George Soros or Epstein, really, and or like like people that are brought up like in the faith, in either being a Christian or a Catholic, or and then them turning around and saying, no, well, actually, I denounce this. Um, they go their own way and become evil. But you see what I mean? Like it's not like it's just a Jewish thing. This happens in all the faiths. Um, except for Islam, because in Islam it's like no, that's kind of how the and that could be and it sucks to say that, like, hopefully this never blows up. But knowing my luck, right, this will probably get clipped or get seen somewhere. I hope it doesn't, but you never, and I'll stand on my 10 toes. I will say that, yeah, I'll profess that Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I'll step on that. I'll step on my feet and stand firm and say that that's what I believe. And and as far as everything else goes, I had friends. I had a friend in high school. Well, I thought he was a friend, but I mean, he was a Muslim, and he was cool, and they're cool people. Like I've met, you know, I met them. Like they're cool. Like, but I did notice that sometimes, I don't know if he subscribed to the same, because I noticed that, we would try to invite, because we played soccer. And he was a good player. I like playing with him. I try to be his friend, but I feel like sometimes that because in their religion they're not allowed to associate with people that aren't Muslim, I think. And I'm pretty sure that was the case, because a lot of times we would try to play soccer, they would, especially in the later years, just it wouldn't happen at all. Like they would go and play with their own cousins, their own and that makes sense. Like you want to play with your family and your own, your own kin. But at the same time, it's like, you know what I mean. Like we're friends. Like I want to be your friend, but obviously, the religion that you follow doesn't allow you to for us to be friends, which is kind of crazy. Um, because I guess mine does too. Mine does in a certain way. Anyway, I'm speaking way too much now. It's late. I do have to edit this down, so I'll probably just end it there. So the moral of the story is get off social media. No, Jews are not the cause of your problems. They are not even the cause of a lot of the United States' problems. Those are caused by us ourselves. And I hate and I'll end it on this point. I keep saying I'll end it on this point. But like this whole thing of like, oh, blame the Jews, blame the Jews. It's like, bro, when are we gonna take accountability for our own issues that we've created here in this country that have nothing to do with the Jewish people? That about all the fraud that happened in Minnesota, all the fraud that happens in California, all the fraud that happens in these blue states. And again, it goes, you know, where I feel like people like Tucker Carlson and this dude Nick Fuentes are making a lot of people go back, and you're making like there are two evils I think in the United States of America. There is either red or there is blue. If you go to the blue side, like I know where you stand. Like I'm not saying that you can't even reconcile with them because you can. I think we should be working towards that every day. But I feel like people like Nick and this fucking dude Carlson are like pushing people to the blue side of things, to the Democrat side of things. Like, what are we doing? Can we not just, dude? I swear that the day they assassinated Charlie Kirk, right? And I know I keep bringing this dude up. This guy is an inspiration. He was an institution. He was a big. He was going to be the president of the United States. The left knew exactly what they were doing when they killed him, because as soon as he died, everything hit the fan. It's like, and you see it now. Like you see, like, and now this dude, this Candace Owens, like this is the trifecta. Like I would watch, like, and I'm not saying don't listen to them, obviously, because I listen to them. I listen to what they have to say, like Candace Owens, like Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, like, but these three entities here, you know, I feel like they were kept in check a lot by Charlie Kirk himself. Like, and I'm not saying like because he didn't associate with Nick Fuentes. To me, Nick, the like a lot of the stuff he says is just like I don't know. I think he means well, but I don't know, man. It's like there's something I can't trust him. I can't trust him. I can't trust a word. Like he's saying like, oh, we should have voted for Kamala Harris. Like what? What are you saying, bro? Like oh my. And look, everything isn't rosy. Everything isn't perfect. Everything isn't, But to throw everything in the trash and then turn it on fire because I don't know. Look, I'll make I don't know if I'll make a video about that. Like, it's just a lot of like a lot of negative talk, a lot of negativity, a lot of like I feel like I feel like those guys are industry. Like they're plants from the Democratic Party to like destroy the Republican Party because the Republicans are like about to were if Charlie wasn't assassinated, like I feel like the Epstein thing would have been handled so much better because he would have had his pulse on it. I can't believe that Epstein thing, by the way, turned into what it did. I can't believe like it's just so crazy to me to think that thing, like Joe Biden was in office for 4 years and he could have at any point said, "Hey, we're going to look into it." No one no one no one gave a fuck. And no one cared about the Epstein files when Joe Biden was in office. Like no one gave a crap. Like that's insane. Like why doesn't anyone else say this? And now that Trump came in, he's the because he's not doing enough to and maybe look, maybe it's true. Like maybe he's, I don't know, like covering it up or but my brother in Christ, Joe Biden and if and also let's use our common sense here. Those files were. You don't think the FBI scrubbed those files years ago, like, or took out all like the evidence that would incriminate a lot of these people already, like years ago, right? Like, you don't think that would have happened already? Like, you think, I don't know, what do you? It just doesn't make sense. Like, like I'm telling you guys, like I think when they killed and assassinated like Charlie, like it. Notice how that was the catalyst, right? Notice how everything bad that happened snowballed after that event, and we're still seeing the ramifications of this in March. That happened in September of last year, I think. It's been a couple months, and in that short window, we've seen so much happen. We've seen so much happen, and it's all just been condensed in there, right? And it just makes me question a lot of things, like especially like when I see like people like Nick and this dude come out and start attacking like the president and the whole movement and everything. It's like, where did you come from, my guy? Like, you were not a thing when Charlie was around. Like, you were a thing. I mean, you were maybe gaining traction, but you weren't the main one. Like, Charlie was unifying a lot of these. Because you see it now. Like people like Rogan, people like in that whole thing where I feel like it's all starting to like they're all and to be honest, like those people, you know, I they have big audiences, but they don't have a spine. Like maybe Joe Rogan does, but like that dude Andrew Schultz, that guy's a prick. Like, and you can tell that guy doesn't have a spine. Like when you don't have a spine, you'll just say whatever. But I feel like Charlie was unifying at least a lot of that. He was the one, because you see how like the Democratic people all march in the same, like they believe the same thing. Because and on the right side over here, like a lot of us don't agree on a lot of things. Like the only like we barely agree that Jesus Christ is king. We barely agree on that. And and from there, like we foreign policy, like all this, like, but what we do agree on is that the United States is the greatest country on earth. And I feel like with attacks like when Nick Fuentes says, "Oh, well, this is just done for Israel," that's a slap in the face to the United States of America. Like, what are you saying? That the United States isn't the greatest country on earth? That we're run by by a tiny fucking country of like Jews? Like that's essentially that's what you're saying. That the United States is controlled by like this small ass country. No, the United States of America is the greatest country on earth. And if you don't stand by that, and if you don't stand on that, then you're not America first. You are a coward. And I'll stand by that. I'll dude. And that doesn't mean that you have to fully support the war or whatever. Like I get it. Like we don't. No one. Do you think I want to? Do you think anyone really wants to see war? No. No one wants to see war. But this is reality. This is the real world. People die every day over nothing sometimes. And for people to sit there and say, "Oh well," like I saw something on X just recently that's saying like, "Oh, you should telling the president you should send your son to go die for the country." It's like my the brave. By the way, and it's like because this is actually pissing me off. No one's been drafted to this. The people that signed up for the military, right? They'll tell you themselves they signed up because they want to defend this country, right? Maybe some of them signed up because they wanted I don't know, to go to school, to do this, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. But they felt patriotic enough to sign up for the military and brave enough to enlist and then to go and then to serve the United States. They knew what they were signing, right, when they did this thing. They have agency, right? And for you to sit there and say that they're dying for Israel is a slap to the face to all of them and to all of us. And to be honest, I feel like people like that should be called like you should call people out that have that thought. And people like that on social media should be like, dude, I'll expose this. Who the fuck said this? And it's people like on the, let me see. Hold on. This dude Jim To be honest, he's probably a nobody. He's like me and a nobody. But for you to post this, I mean, he's getting a lot of traction on X. Look at this. All right, look. Do you see that? It says, I don't know if you can read that. It says, Barron Trump is almost 20 years old, 6'7", and is very healthy. He needs to be at the front lines in Iraq. Like, where are we getting in this country with comments like that? It doesn't. I just hate. It's like there's such little. They're not men. They're little bitches. Like Nick Fuentes is a little bitch. I'll just say that, and so is Tucker Carlson for that matter. They're not men. They are cowards. They are following their own interests. I wouldn't be surprised, like if they're being paid by they want to claim that a lot of people are bought and paid for by the Jews. I'd like to see who they're bought. They're probably bought and paid for by the Democratic Party, somehow, some way. They because like there's no way, dude. Like, there's no way. There's no way you can say something like, "Oh, well, Kamala Harris should have been the president," or blah, 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 blah. You wanted to, dude. It's like you're either for America or you're not. This weak ass argument that says, "Oh, well, the America is run by the Jews for the Jews," like that's not fucking true, man. That's a lie. That's a complete lie. The United States is the United States. It's the greatest country on earth, and it will. And yeah, that's it. That's all I'll say on that. And no, we're not controlled by the fucking Jews. We're not. So get that thought out of your head. Like, again, you don't have to fully support the war. You don't have to support, but I would just say give it time. I'll end it on that. Just we'll see. Like I said, we'll see in a year from now if I'm, and I'll hold my hands up and I'll say, hey, I guess we are controlled by the Jews if the war is still going on, or I guess I don't know. Trump failed on that one. If a year from now, there's still, and we'll see. The time will play out. We'll see, but I have a feeling that this is gonna get resolved one way or another. But that's been my thoughts for tonight. It's been fun. I'm gonna try to do this more regularly. I do have like a lot of things I want to talk about, but I'm tired as fuck. I think I'll go ahead and end it. It's been fun, but it's time to closing time. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Well, and I do have a social. I guess I'll put it up here. I want to change the at. My at is golf Wang 0777. I hope I can change that handle. But that's me on X if you want to give me a follow. I had some friends on there, but hold on. All right. Yeah, that's it for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you guys on the next stream. And yeah. May God bless and protect all of us. So thank you and good night.